Hello and welcome to
Bro, you look so much like George R.R. Martin.
episode 4. Guys, I have bad news.
Oh no, Bob lost some digits.
The maggots didn't work. I
Oh,
lost
wow.
some digits this week, but we're here. It's Robbie Fox. It is Clem R.R. Martin, and it is KFC, the Lord of the Tides over here. John Feitelberg will be joining us in just a bit of House KFC Radio. But wow, if you're not watching on YouTube, you should be.
I mean, it's uncanny. I don't know what that says, bro, but it's uncanny.
I think I'm just gonna roll with this for now on, boys. I can't keep one-upping the costumes, and I'm like, I think
This is the
just
one.
a young George Martin at this point now.
This is
Clem
the
R.
one.
Martin
Honestly,
is here to
you
stay.
might want to consider this being just your look. I don't know if you can grow a beard like that, but you look great, dude. Bob, let me see the fingers again.
Yeah, they came off. The maggots didn't work. It's gnarly looking. But that's what it is. You got to carry on. What is that?
Can we all make a promise that nobody tries to do any cosplay with King Viserys's fucking sores all over his back and his body? If we go live and I see someone with their shirt off with sores all over him, I'm out. Okay, we're not doing that.
I'm out on that as well. That was gross. Seeing him, his gross ass zombie body just thrusting from behind.
Oh, imagine getting fucked by that guy. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Put on some bandages, dude. But it is House of the Dragon episode 4. We were told going in, this one's going to be the most controversial. It's going to have the most nudity. And I think it lived up to that hype.
When you see that TVMA, as a kid, TVMA with the N for nudity and SSC, strong sexual content, was like, yeah, we're getting it tonight. And even as a fucking almost 40-year-old man, I see that and it makes me go, okay, all right. That's what
Clem,
Thrones is all about.
Clem, what were your overall thoughts on the episode?
It was I think we said it was going to be a political thriller. That was what a lot of people were saying. It was kind of that, but it was like a he said, she said, right?
Now this was like a TMZ ep.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You know what? This is why when we heard that George R.R. Martin referred to it as Hot D, this is the episode. This is the Hot D episode for sure.
We, like Kev said, the N for nudity always gets the blood flowing. I think, at least on mine on HBO Max, it's like in the upper left-hand corner. I don't get the screen for some reason, which really bums me out. We need an eye for incest, though, because there's two kinds of nudity. There's nudity with a bunch of randos getting hot and heavy in a brothel, and then there's a niece and her uncle, just straight up fucking, rubbing nasties. I don't enjoy that very much. I don't even enjoy the stepbrother porn. That no matter who's in it, I'm just skipping to the next one. It just doesn't do it for me. I say this dressed as a fucking 80-year-old man right now.
That's what's so funny to think about when George Martin is writing these. Like, he looks like that, and he's like, all right, so I'm gonna have the brother fuck the sister and the uncle fuck the niece. He's such a creep. He's such a furry little creep.
And KFC, you're debuting the dreads tonight for the sea snake. They look good.
The sea snake got.
Did the sea snake get his internet is down now? Last week it was mine. This week it might be Kevin's. We'll keep rolling. I'm sure his internet will improve by the time that we continue. Nick Hamilton, super producer. Are you there?
Oh, yeah.
The people wanted to see the costume.
I got my wig in the mail this week. It's a Witcher wig. So it's pretty nice setup from
pretty good, though. It looks like it's staying out of the eyes. It looks like it goes back well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I found out it came with the little wig, like the hairnet thing, too. All right. I'm going to pop out. We got Johnny is in now.
Oh, fantastic.
You got
John Feitelberg of House KFC Radio. I see some white hair already.
Guys, I have regrets.
Do you?
I called Kevin and I was like, I'm gonna be Damon because Damon's my guy.
Oh no! Wrong episode for that.
And I got a rest in pieces for a little crab feeder thing, and I have regrets.
Yeah, this was not the week to be Damon.
Nope.
There's a lot of crazy stories John Feitelberg has told on KFC Radio, a lot of sex stories. I hope we never get the one about the cousin and you going to, mingle in the big city and go to the brothel. I hope I never hear that one.
Well,
also, let me just make sure we're not going to be taken down for you having the football game on in the background, are we?
I'll turn it off.
Okay. Just making sure that the NFL doesn't, shut down House of the Stools.
I think
House
John's
of
on
the Dragon.
first name basis with the quarterback playing in that game. Luckily, so I think we'll be all right, but just in case.
Now, despite everything I just said, I'm still Damon had a haircut. So
Yeah,
yes,
he did.
a live haircut.
He was rocking that short look. Yes. Dude, let me say, I don't know what you guys discussed when I was just gone for a second. Add it to the chair. Add it to the throne. I think add it to the chair, he said, when he dropped the sword.
Awesome.
What a line.
What a line.
What a fucking line. Add it to the chair, and it clanks to the ground, and the subtitles say clank. Oh, that was so fucking dope, man. That's like a Nike Just Do It slogan. Add it to the chair. Oh.
You know
there were a lot of very good lines in this episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I also love how they continue to come up with cool ways to say about being hungover or whatever. Homeboy getting lost in his cups. That's a great one.
That one, and then also the hair of the dog, where they said, this will clear the fog.
Yeah, clear the fog. Yeah.
The hour of the owl. We saw them at the hour of the owl.
Yeah.
I loved the Hour of the Owl. I loved that line. We should just get right into it. There's a lot to cover in this episode. We see right away Rhaenyra is on a tour, they called it, of looking for a new contender for her hand. A bunch of people are presenting themselves. She absolutely roasts the first guy for being old. She's like, how fucking old are you? Which I don't think you can ask in a job interview. I don't think that's allowed. A kid is up next, though. She also kind of roasts him for being a kid. And then another guy is like, oh, you think you're going to protect her? She is a dragon, you dumb cunt. That's what he says to the kid. And the kid kills him for that. He's like, okay, you call me a dumb cunt? I'm going to stab you to death.
I was surprised by that kill.
What a quick little, just a little toss in. Like I need extra scenes on the DVD. Like what happened there? They turn around. The guy's got a fucking broadsword through his stomach. He's spitting out blood.
That was some good pink smoke.
That was good.
If you like pink smoke, that was good pink smoke.
And then there was, if you look closely, the little dude, he starts to retch and go, because he probably just killed his first guy. And then we just go, don't look at that. And that's it. Nothing else happened. It was unbelievable.
I think when we do the time jump 10 years in the future, that kid is going to be like some fucked up badass.
I hope so. I hope there's more to that guy.
I'm buying stock in this kid. The kid's my guy. I love that kid. I don't know who it is. I fucking love that kid. I just love
like
this
good
whole
guy,
world.
but this is a good guy to have.
A kid just gutted a dude. No one batted an eyelash, and they're calling the little kid a cunt. Then they're calling each other twats. This fucking show's the best, man. George R. R. Martin's a creep, but he's a fucking creep that is entertaining. Give him that.
Calling a little kid a cunt is like the fifth worst thing they did to a little kid this episode.
That was pretty tame. Everyone gathers in the throne room for Daemon's arrival, comes in swooping on the fucking dragon. He almost like puts the ship to the side coming in on a dragon so hot. And he debuts his new haircut. Looks good. I don't know where that came from. And drops the sword in front of the king. Go ahead.
I'm way too invested in this haircut on my my fake hair that I just gave with scissors. I'm like, wait, no, it doesn't look great right over here.
It looks okay. It looks Patty the Batty-esque.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, then it's fantastic.
Bowser.
And he offers his new crown. He was declared king of the Narrow Sea after the war to the king. Tense for a moment, but they embrace. Everyone claps. It's a happy moment. And then Allison asks if Daemon wants to see tapestries afterwards, and they laugh right in her face.
Right in her fucking face.
We don't want to see the tapestries. Get the fuck out of here.
That was as close to As Always Sunny in Game of Thrones I think we're gonna get. That was like sweet. Like, you dumb bird. No, dumb bird. We don't see tapestries, you idiot.
Yeah, it was really good. There's a conversation about popping out heirs, living in fear between Alice and Rhaenyra. Very awkward when they realize, like, oh, you're talking about me.
Yeah, that was as mean. That was some Mean Girls shit right there. Maybe it was unintentional, but yeah, I want to be trapped in a castle and pop out babies. Oh, whoops! That's the bitch who's trapped in a castle popping out babies.
Imagine that, like you're talking to a postman. You're like, could you imagine walking a block and just handing mail to every house? It's like, literally exactly what I do, dude. What I do.
My wife, when I first graduated college, my first job was selling New York Liberty group sales tickets, and we went to a Mets game. We went to a Mets game, and there was like a guy selling like the baseball bats and the helmets, and no one was even paying him a mind. And she's like, "Must suck to be someone selling something that no one wants." And I'm like, "You're dating a group sales ticket representative for the New York Liberty right here, honey." But she stuck with me. God bless her. That's how I knew she was the one. She stuck with me through that.
That's how she's a keeper, man. She loved you. She loved you for
Yeah,
sure.
And going back to the origin of the costumes, she was basically the start of it all. She was
Yeah.
the one that told Clem dress up for the first episode.
She's created everyone.
Yo,
got
you
this
know
whole
that
fucking thing started.
she probably used to go around and be like, "Oh yeah, he does group sales at Madison Square Garden for the games of the Garden."
Exactly.
Just leave it up.
That's what every job is lying to make it okay. Every
Yep.
job
Yeah.
stinks and is boring and not interesting.
It says 4 guys dressed in complete
Yeah.
costume talking about a show about dragons. We
Well,
got it
we-
better than us, baby.
We used to talk about that all the time in the early days of Barstool, where it's like you're trying to say you're a blogger without saying blogger.
Yes.
Yeah.
I work in sports media.
Right.
The council says that they've traded the crab feeder for the sea snake and that Lord Corliss is just running shit over at the Stepstones now. They're like, you should probably wed your daughter to someone from Bravos or something, they said, to unite the houses. They're like, he's a little mad about the whole not daughter thing years ago. You didn't marry Rhaenyra or you didn't marry his daughter. So we're a little upset about that. He's going to marry his daughter off. Rhaenyra should probably go and marry someone at this point, which, time is ticking. I think we skipped maybe a year forward in this episode because last episode was Aegon's second birthday. And then in the play during this episode, they said like the heir is 3.
Also, that was a big fucking baby, Clem. Did you notice that? She turned around when she was rocking him.
Yeah.
And that baby looked like he was about 60 pounds.
That's the Big Daddy Trent right there.
Yeah. By the way, listen, I mean, that would be a super team if they married. They'd have the naval fleet. They'd all have the dragons. I mean, that would be that's Durant on the Warriors right there.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
Rhaenyra.
gonna happen?
No, I'm just saying, like, it does all make the most sense. Like, listen, bitch, you're not going to get to just have a regular boyfriend and a regular husband, okay? Look around you. Look what just happened. That little boy just stabbed that guy in the fucking stomach with a sword. You're not just going to have, like, you don't get to date the prom king, all right? It's just going to be the guy who, like, has the most dragons.
Yeah, I don't think everyone was marrying the love of their life back in Thrones.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Not
But
everyone
I will
was
say
super happy with
it's a smidge realistic because her father was like in love with his wife, and it was he's a romantic, so it kind of
Right before he murdered her. Yeah.
He'll never get over it though, John. He'll never get over it.
That was my whole thing coming into today before today's episode. I was like, Damon's my guy. That king's a pussy and an asshole. And then today's episode happened. I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
I know. Last week I was so anti-Damon, and then at the end of last week I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm so pro-Damon now. I'm so on his side. I should have just kept my mouth shut last week.
What we've
I should
learned,
have just wrote it out.
we've seen it like 5 weeks in a row now. Proclaiming anybody your guy in House of the Dragon is a dangerous game. You get caught real quick. Like in 1 week, you get proven wrong.
It's a minefield of problematic shit you're stepping on. Yeah.
I don't want to defend him because again, I'm not a
Oh,
big
boy.
fan of Vince.
Nah, do it, Clem. Do it.
Damon had some fresh haircut energy going, and you can't really blame him for fresh haircut going, right? I mean, he was like, Feits has like a better glow than he did when he joined the stream, just because he cut a wig. If you have a fresh haircut going, you're named King of the Narrow Sea. That's such a fucking awesome name too. You have a crown that was given to you. Anything that goes in that like 48, 72-hour period, that's just fresh haircut.
It's a celebration. I was
Yeah,
waiting for Clem to be like, I don't want to defend him, but like Rhaenyra is really hot, right?
I thought he was going there too.
But how long is a fortnight? That's how long fresh haircut energy should last you, I think.
It's like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. All right, take that back.
Rhaenyra finds a secret door in the castle in her room and a little bag packed by her uncle Daemon with basically stuff for her to go out dressed up like I go to the office. She puts on a beanie. She goes out. She's mistaken for a boy in the streets. They go to some freak show street too. There's some crazy shit going on in the town. Sex in the streets, fire breathers.
How about
like
the
free
one
sample guys?
The one guy just getting resuscitated, they were just like doing CPR on him. First of all, I don't know if they knew CPR back in the day like that, but that guy just laid out and everyone's just stepping over him like, whatever, man.
Yeah, they had
Another day in the
abortion
streets.
juice back then. They probably had CPR.
What's that?
So they had abortion juice. They had CPR.
We'll get to that. We will get to abortion juice for sure.
That was like 70s New York City right there. All you
Yeah.
needed was like the smoke in the alley. That was the only part missing from that. It's like Times Square is what I was told Times Square was like back in the day.
And they go to a play basically about their life. We saw some of this in Thrones. We've seen it in the Thor movies where it's like a funny fictionalized version of the show that we're actually watching. And it's very mean to Rhaenyra. People boo Rhaenyra in the crowd. She's trying to like cheer herself. She's like, boo. No, I think she's great. Like very, very funny, well executed scene. And in the midst of it, we just flash to King Viserys being bathed, all of his wounds out and everything. And Alicent takes over for the nurses and everything. We didn't need that. That was gross.
No, we did. Honestly, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, we don't need this scene of a 15-year-old cleaning a man who's literally falling apart.
Well, it was a nice little juxtaposition of like the two different, she's at home cleaning up her fucking like corpse of a husband while her best friend's out there riding in the streets and getting fucked and having like a hot romantic night. For by their standards. I'm not saying I condone it. I'm just saying that's what she was doing. She had a smile on her face. It was consensual. I don't know, whatever. It's a very hard episode to do.
It's fucked up because like I feel like Rhaenyra is the only character that hasn't really aged at all. I'm like, yo, make her look a little older now, guys. And it got to the point she's like 8 years older. Fucking her dad, Rickety Viserys, has lost like 4 more limbs every time we jump times. Let's just fucking make her look a little older so scenes like this don't feel extra fucking awkward.
Also, that dude has like 7 new holes in his body.
Yeah.
He hasn't aged a day.
He's going to look like Lieutenant Dan in the next episode. So here is the hot, steamy action you were speaking of, Kevin. We get Daemon taking Rhaenyra to a brothel, taking his niece Rhaenyra to a brothel. The king's zombie ass is having some sex while this is going on. They're flashing back and forth. Daemon starts making out with Rhaenyra, telling him, listen, sex is a pleasure. It's something that people do for fun. People really like it. They're in the midst of an orgy, basically. Like, everyone around them is having sex. I'm thinking, are they going to do this right here and there? Even if you're going to do the incest thing, if you're going to cross that line, at least do it in private. But no.
All right, have some respect when you're fucking your niece and do it in a bedroom.
No respect. They fuck out in the open, or at least they begin to, it looks like. It looks like a shirt's coming up. Pants are going down, they're making out, getting steamy, and then Daemon just walks away. And it's kind of left ambiguous. Like, did they start having sex or did they not start having sex?
Google says they did not. So
I was surprised to think that was like the interpretation. I did not think they had sex.
I thought that he maybe, played like just the tip.
Yeah.
He does the classic movie like from behind, which is kind of unrealistic. It never really... You have to be on your tiptoes, and she's got, that never really works. But, the hands on the wall, and she's like leaning back and moaning. Usually that's in there. But, I think the third base coach put up the stop sign. So, Joey Cora, he is not Clem. That's a little shout out to our Mets listeners.
Oh, man. That Venn diagram, the people who understand that, man, that fucking was bullseye right there.
But so he's out. He does not fuck her.
So I'm gonna give my Clem Martin on here. The books, I believe, are told from like a historian's angle and kind of like a smut peddler's angle. And I think the reason why you don't really know what they did is because it's from like a historical perspective, right? So it's like they think this is based on what people saw. So it's like someone might be like, I saw them fucking over there. And some people may say a little finger action was going on. That's all they got. That's why like you never hear him say air for a day. And it's like they have to figure out if he actually said it. And then the fucking crab feeder.
Interesting.
What the fuck happened with the crab feeder, right? So it's like, did he actually kill him? Did someone else kill the crab feeder? He just lugged him out of the cave? Stuff like that. So I do think we're going to get a lot of stuff where it's like, we don't know what happens, but you kind of have to figure out what you think happened.
Little choose your own adventure. Leave it up to your interpretation. I don't hate that. That makes it for a week-to-week show. That makes it more interesting to discuss some of these things.
And I don't want to send this
that
on.
one too.
What was that?
That they were spotted coupling.
Yeah, coupling.
Yeah, coupling. Yeah. I like that too.
Well, and that's the thing too. If you're gonna think about the reality of it, like the little spy runs away, right? Imagine this. Imagine there was a witness to you up against a wall with a chick in the middle of a fucking medieval orgy, and you say, no, it didn't actually happen, guys. We were about to, but I swear I didn't.
We just coupled. I didn't put it in. We just coupled up a bit.
We just
and they're like, we saw it on Dumois. The fucking kid posted it. So.
in 70s, we were talking New York City in the 70s. Were people just fucking in Studio 54 back in the day?
Yeah,
I saw them.
No doubt.
So this is
Sure.
kind of like this isn't exact. That's like the Blisteros Studio 54, right? It wasn't the straight slums. It was
But
a
it's
little.
like if the fucking president's daughter went and fucked in Studio
Yeah.
54 in front of all the celebrities and everyone, like people would be like, wait a minute, holy shit, what's going on here?
Yeah, the Bush daughters are like, yeah, we know, dude.
Also, I don't want to send us on a whole crab feeder tangent, but someone commented this on the last video, and it got me thinking: if the crab feeder had grayscale, didn't Daemon touch him and shit? Isn't that stuff super infectious and like?
Yeah, I heard some people say Targaryens might be immune to it, so then that's the other.
Oh.
But I don't know that. That's an idiot talking. That's not someone who knows anything about this.
Let's run with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's roll with it.
I
Also,
like that.
You know what ends up happening? It's whenever they start making plays about what happened. If they make a play about Daemon and Rhaenyra fucking, that's kind of what becomes history, right? It's whatever the public runs with. That's why the whole thing. That's why the king was so upset.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this when they're watching the play, and I'm like, man, it must be fucked up to like watch a play about your own life and they're being mean to you. I'm like, I would hate that. And then I'm like, oh, Milmore has a new cartoon out where he basically just makes fun of all of us assholes. Son of a bitch.
That's reality TV right there for the Thrones era.
Now, what do we think about Daemon's plan going into the brothel? Do you think he was just horned up, started to have sex with his niece, and then said, oh, I can't do this. This is fucked up. Or did he have a plan from the jump? I'm going to go in here. I'm going to do this. It's going to make her feel weird. It's going to weaken her father. All of that.
I for sure thought that. I think that's a plan, but I just think it's very strange that he would like have to guarantee he'd have to bank on a spy seeing it and relaying it. Like if you're
What if he paid the kid?
What's that?
He could have paid that kid.
If there's more to that kid, that would make it a little more like understandable to me. But I definitely thought that was a play to be like, I fucked her, I defiled her. Defiled was the word they kept using, and be like, that's why he's like, just give her to me now. Look, I already did it. Just like let me marry her, and like it'll all work out. But also, wouldn't you just follow through with it then? Is there some part of him that doesn't actually want to do it? Because if it was like, yeah, man, I fucking went up in there, like let her marry me, why would you stop?
Oh, you mean follow through the sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Like
it's a good question.
Your plan to get to be, to have her wed you. Why not?
So maybe they did, and that's what the plan B is all about.
I thought the plan B was just that they like didn't believe her. I thought it was like a thing where she told everyone, I swear it didn't happen. They sent it to plan B anyway. And it's like, what? They don't even believe me.
So I think in the post show,
There he is.
You haven't
There
seen
he
it.
is.
In the post show, the writers were saying that they didn't have sex. It was like he kind of from the jump had the idea to come in and like kind of win her to his side, and that way to like get himself back in good standing. But then when she starts going back and she clearly wants to do it, I think there's like a little bit of he actually has feelings for her. And then it was like he no longer had the power in the situation. And they straight up said he was impotent at that moment. He's just going to get hard. They threw that word out there just on HBO.
They were drinking some shit at the play.
Yeah, he got lost in his cup.
Whiskey dick.
You got lost
every time you try and fuck your underage cousin or niece, just can't get it up.
Yeah, get it up.
Yeah.
No, but I think Rhaenyra like loves the fuck out of Daemon. Yeah. I mean, she is googly eyed and thinks he's the man. And I mean, it's butterflies every time she's with him. Yeah. I think he has feelings for her, but I think it's a much more her to him right now. But
yeah,
if
definitely.
there is, I mean, if she
and then
the
kid, to clear up the kid, that kid looked like he was paid to tell the hand by Daemon's, like the prostitute he brought to Dragonstone. And I don't
because he was.
So she's no longer with him at Dragonstone. I think that was like a fuck you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to sell you out because like you told the king that I was like pregnant with your kid or some shit.
Right.
Like, she was pissed off about that. So
right.
She mentioned that she left Dragonstone. So I think it was her that took the kid and like was like,
Syria,
right?
Yeah, because the little kid shows up in the little cave where he's like passed out, right? So that's actually who's employing the spy.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Syria.
Yeah, because she runs the brothel that they were at, it seems like.
Got it.
Oh, that all checks out.
Yeah, because in that thing, she said she traded in her life of being a whore or whatever because she could run things.
Yeah, and I think White Worm's either the name of that woman or the brothel. People are trying to figure that. I'm looking at the chat for that one. Yeah.
Unreal.
And he was, so you have to remember too, like he left to go to the Stepstone. So probably during that time, she was pissed at him. He comes back after a while. He has the narrow sea, new haircut, feeling himself. So I'm sure there was like a very ugly breakup between the two of them.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that while watching it, but now that Nick says that, it all makes sense. It makes a lot more sense.
The haircut makes a lot more sense after the breakup. He got upset just fine.
Yeah. That's
So wait, though, do you think so? If the writers are saying in their after show that he was just he had whiskey dick, if he wasn't, do you think it goes down, or do you think that he loves
think
her
it
enough
goes
that he,
down.
like you
They
think
were
so?
steaming.
I
I mean,
mean, bro, I'll tell you
especially
what.
her.
In all my experience with whiskey dick, if I didn't have it, it was going down.
That's a quote. That's a fucking quote.
And
I'm
Rhaenyra,
with you, but it's also like if there is any feelings, kind of what we were joking about, but it's like if he actually does have any feelings for his fucking cousin, you probably wouldn't want to fuck her in the middle of like a brothel, you know?
yeah. Rhaenyra has to go home and do the Targaryen walk of shame too. That was tough. One of the earliest walk of shames we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She walks right past Kristen Cole, her guy, outside of her door. He's kind of like, what the I've been outside her door the whole time. How'd she get out? And then she pulls him right in there, and she's still horned up from the brothel. So she goes to town on him. She has to take off about 128 pieces of armor before they can get into the sex.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
They have a lot of time to think about it, and they still go through with it.
Yo, I mean, it's like, you know, taking off all the armor, the fucking Tin Man here. My first question is, when you get hard with armor on, where does it go?
Great question, Kev. Great question.
You can't just do your classic waistband flip when you've got fucking armor.
I
And
don't think
know
you
it's
can put it
kinda
to
more-
either side either.
Yeah, no, I think I think your boner is just like ding right in the front.
Right in the front.
I know
I
it's
think
kinda
it
more like
makes a
your-
noise like it hits a bell, like when you hit the thing at the
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
carnival.
I feel like your actual metal kind of is like your thighs and then your stomach, but you got to have something covering your junk that I would imagine is at least some mesh or something like
Chainmail?
that.
Chain
Oh,
love.
Yeah.
Kev, my
Female.
friend.
You ever got
the
hard
answer
in
to that.
compression shorts? Probably the same.
I'll send it to the chat for Nick to put up here. A little thing called a cod piece. We got ourselves a cod piece here.
Wait, he said compression shorts are the same as chainmail.
No, like you get hard, it's just like it's like way down.
I mean, you try to get hard in compression shorts, that shit it ain't happening, man.
It's still hard. It's just like
It's
it's
just
a little
much-
angle
yeah.
down.
So they have sex. They do it.
Yeah.
They think about it. You could see Kristen Cole's really like. There are moments where he's legitimately like about to fuck her, and then he's like, "Should I do this?"
Bro, honestly, do you know how horny you got to be to fuck a girl when the implications that are going to occur afterwards? Like, you're not just. There you go. Look, yeah, there's your boner armor.
Yo,
I
you
mean, that
imagine-
top one
imagine
is- that
running
guy's
into
boned
war
up.
with one of those bad boys going out. Is this fucking hard stabbing me? I'd retreat. Think of that.
Those guys got boners in the middle of war, man. I'm not fucking them. I can't imagine being like horny enough to be like, yeah, I'll fuck this girl, the heir, but also not, and the king, and the daemon, and the this, and the that. Everybody's made some bad mistakes, but that is one you're really thinking with your dick on that one.
I'd come 3 times just when the armor comes off. Because think about like when you take your shoes off, how good it feels when you get your shoes off. Like each piece of armor is like a shoe on your fucking body. It's like and then there's just this fucking hot chick that wants to bang. Like, sorry,
If I had to do that, I'd be a 40-year-old virgin. If I had to do that much work, it's like if I grew up in Alaska, I'd still be a virgin right now. I had too much clothes to take off.
But nobody heard that either. Nobody was like, "Why is there a fucking transformer in the princess's room? What is that noise? The Astros dugout are in there. They just heard a pitch."
Yo, have you ever fucked at home like when your parents are home and you're trying to avoid the squeaks? Imagine taking off 1,000 pounds of armor
on stone grounds and shit like that too.
Everything is so amplified.
Yeah, had to be creaky everywhere. The boy who witnessed Rhaenyra and Daemon goes to Otto then, and this is like in the middle of the night in the hour of the owl still. And Otto waits till the morning. He goes to the king, and he's like, "This is really awkward, but your daughter was fucking your brother last night, and I don't know how to tell you that, but it went down." And the king sees through him. He kind of sends him out right away, and he's like, "You're only looking out for yourself. Are you spying on my daughter just to get your heir on the throne? Get out of here! Don't tell me about who my daughter's fucking." Awkward scene though, and Allison saw the whole thing, which is tough.
Bro,
So
let me
sends Kristen Cole after him.
like
after her.
the incest in Thrones. They came in so hot in episode 1 with Jaime banging Cersei, and then I'm sure throughout the rest of the series there was some more of it here and there. I don't quite remember it, but it wasn't like it wasn't like an every episode sort of thing. And now to have it all come back again, where like I'm always trying to put myself in the place of the TV show and the actors and stuff. And I don't like doing that, dude. I don't like to be like, okay, so wait, so it's the brother and oh no, wait a minute, oh fuck. So it is fucked up to watch a show like this when you have a brother and kids and it's some real life shit. Yeah, Clem, I see your.
Why did you have to do that, Kev?
That's what I'm saying. Though.
The House of the Dragon.
That's what you do on TV. It's like, what would I do in that spot? Oh my fucking god! Never mind. I'm just gonna kill myself.
That's
what
why
you do, Kev. Now I'm gonna do it because of you, you asshole.
What'd you say?
I appreciate the casting of Rhaenyra and Allison because like they're both mid-20s, I think.
Yeah.
Imagine they had actual 15-year-olds you have to watch.
They
No.
do.
You wouldn't watch the
She
show.
looks young. She is mid-20s, but they don't like. They make it look.
Her
like
scenes were shot like
Bro.
tastefully too.
I saw people moving into Boston College the other day. So that's freshmen, at least all 18. I thought they were middle schoolers. I thought it was a fucking school field trip.
Yeah.
So you put real 15-year-olds there rather than a young-looking 24-year-old, it's a problem.
Well, at least it's an upgrade from 12 from last week. So.
And people have also been saying the time jump we will be thankful for and grateful for because of scenes like this. They were like, "Oh, you're going to need some older actors to be playing them with what they're going to be doing."
Sure.
They did a great job hiding the nipple too. I have to say.
Oh, really good job. Like a lot of
Really
times,
good job.
It's like, are they going to show it and then like a bedpost or?
It was like the thing. It's like, is it going to hit the corner? And it just never hit the corner.
That's exactly what it was. Good call.
Every time it was like, "Oh, nope,
Yeah.
nothing. All right, good. We're still in the clear."
While we're talking about awkward sex scenes, can we just remember how awkward that Arya sex scene was in Thrones the night before Winterfell? That
The
was
fucking
just
stupidest.
Let's not remember that.
I gotta
Actually.
remember
That
that.
is- Out of everything they fucked up, I swear that might be the worst. They just shoehorned a random fucking Arya sex scene in there for no goddamn reason.
I don't know if I remember that. Who did she fuck?
It was like at the end when the big battle was about to go down with the Night Walkers and everyone was like, we're all gonna die. So like
Oh,
Remember
It was
Yeah.
Gendry. She fucked Gendry. I think, right?
yeah,
Gendry, it
it
was.
was
Yeah.
just so stupid.
That was the second worst sex scene. First, like my sister started watching Game of Thrones. I was like, all right, let's finally watch one together. She like gotten old enough where I was like comfortable. It was the fucking episode with Missandei and Grey Worm. That was the worst sex scene.
that was
yeah.
real weird.
Because it was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on down there?
Yeah, the
That
dickless
was the
sex
weird
was
part.
real weird.
Dickless sex
little
is
butt
very
play,
weird.
Nick. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Kristen Cole goes to the queen, or he goes to Rhaenyra, the princess, and delivers a message from the queen. So Allison confronts Rhaenyra out by the tree about fucking Daemon. She's like, "How could you?" And Rhaenyra's response was very interesting to me because it wasn't like we made a mistake, we were drunk out on the night. It was a never in a million years, I swear on my mother's memory, we would never even think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're fucking lying right now because you wanted it more than he did, it looked like.
I mean, fuck this slut shaming queen. Get the fuck out of my face. Why do I have to answer to you? You know,
You're fucking a zombie, a leper.
like you're no better than me, bitch.
You're a 16-year-old with baby 2 on the way.
Yeah.
I'll fuck who I want. Thank you very
Stop
much.
throwing, glass houses here, babe. It's like, you would be on Dr. Phil already. Okay. You're the one who's real
Yeah,
fucked up here.
she's the cash me outside girl.
Yeah.
You got fucking young, just kind of turn it around. Okay.
And she was like, "You've been sullied." It's like, look at that fat baby you popped out for this zombie. And like at one point she says, the king has put together all these suitors and worked hard, and so have I. And that was like her only claim to why she would actually be mad. What are you all upset about, bitch? What are you jealous? You're jealous I'm out here fucking in the streets?
Is there any chance Allison has a thing for Rhaenyra?
Ooh, Bob Fox. Scandalous. I like that. I can see that.
I would think no. Just because, like, if we're talking about, like, historically speaking, at that time, like, lesbians didn't exist. if it's medieval times, right? I mean, they obviously existed, but, like, it wasn't a thing.
I don't think, yeah. I mean, in the brothels.
In the brothels, everyone was fucking. Speaking of the brothels, shout out to them, Uncut Dicks.
Did we see Uncut Dicks?
I missed the Uncut Dicks.
I only saw one. I thought there was going to be when I saw your tweet, Bob, I thought there's going to be a ton of dick tonight.
Yeah, so did I.
One dick, uncut dick.
One uncut sea snake.
Allison, stop! Get off the fucking your high horse with this lecture. When you have a poster behind your bed of just people fucking each other. There's dicks and tits and mouths everywhere in that thing. You know what I'm talking about? The big mural behind her bed. It looks like the goddamn brothel. There's just a bunch of shit going on, and she's fucking, like you said, she's fucking a corpse. I would love it if Rhaenyra just calls it out one day. It's like, yo, you're fucking my dad. The guy's losing 3 limbs a year. I would love her to call her out of that.
And he's also like a train guy.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
like he just has a huge fucking, what do you call him?
Model train set in his room.
Train set in his room. Like that dude's
oh,
weird.
look, there's the painting right there. We got it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
That is a big orgy. Yeah, tell it. Go fucking look at your tapestry.
That's like a 69. What's 69 plus 69? What? There's like a 3.
You used to be the accountant. Come on.
There's like a 4. There's a whole bunch of numbers in there.
Was that medieval porn?
138.
They just looked at that.
Good going.
There you go. 138. Daemon stumbles in. He's clearly like disheveled. His shirt's all hanging out and everything, and he's dragged to the throne room to be brought in front of King Viserys. And he says, "Better first time with me than with some whore. Why don't you just marry her to me?" He's like, "I think at this point she's, I drove her off the lot. I think it should be mine."
Oh, Bob!
Bob,
I didn't. Daemon said it. Daemon said it.
You said no, he didn't. You
That was Daemon.
Yo, that is
That's
hilarious.
creepy Uncle Daemon.
I bought it. I touched it. I bought it.
That was the reverse of like, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free?
Yep. I get the milk for free. I'm taking the whole fucking cow with me, man.
That's like when you spit on your food so no one else could eat it. Did you ever do that when you were a kid? You spit on the Doritos so no one else would eat them.
This is
I had a different image of spitting.
That is Damon's version of calling dibs, That's like.
Now I would like to call super producer Nick Hamilton to the stand because I saw him tweeting all night rooting for this. He was like super into Rhaenyra and Daemon.
I've been rooting for that just because I've been rooting
Daemon
since day one, and we were all on board with the exact same relationship of Jon Snow and Daenerys. Let's not act like just because it's episode 4 that we weren't all cool with that.
Well, nobody was 15, man.
Is she supposed to be 15 here? I thought she was like 18.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think she's like 16, maybe.
Wait.
Right.
No,
yeah, she's got her permit.
Yeah, they were like the same age.
Wish I
Jon
didn't say
Snow
that.
and Dany were the same age, right? Roughly.
I think they were around the same age. They seemed it, at least in the show.
And
I
in
just think Damon's like gonna come out the hero in all of this.
that is a great call, though. Like, I am totally.
People in the
creeped
chat
out
are
by
saying she's
Daemon
20
Daemon.
at this point.
All right, we're good. Then I'm rooting for it still.
Okay, then I can get. But how old is Daemon? He's always been older than her, right?
Probably.
'Cause he's
probably,
young, yeah.
Not a great.
Yeah, but she's 20. 20's 20. I'm glad I cut my hair now.
That honestly, I mean, that is interesting. How like we were rooting for one version of that. I would bet.
It's the exact same.
But I would bet most people are not
Just
rooting
saying.
for it the same way they were. But
Yeah, I just had some early tweets that I really backed him hard, and I'm
gotta
just
stick with it.
really diving in. I was fucking like going on later in the episode. All my Hotto shit fucking paying off. So
Yeah,
Fingers
yeah. No,
crossed.
I
This
mean,
whole
you're
episode,
right.
every 10 minutes, I was like, fuck, wish I didn't get a Daemon costume.
By the way, Daemon, great acting from Daemon when he's just hung over his shit. and the king kicks him, and he was like, oh, and it was just like that's what it sounded like if you got kicked in the stomach when you were hungover. It was great.
That casting was heavily criticized when it was made, and it's another one of those things where it's kind of just like a wait and see, people, because that is the most perfect casting they've got on the show.
Yeah, I mean, everything I've seen of like pictures and fan art and illustrations and shit, he looks. Did they want? Was there like somebody that they wanted the public?
I don't know. I've seen it even in our chat. People are saying, like, can you believe that people were doubting Matt Smith in this role, that people didn't think he was right for it?
I learned the hard way when I was Googling, I think just to remember names, like, or learn basic things. And all of the pictures on like Google Images is he's like hugging her or arm around her. They're like Bonnie and Clyde. And I was like, all right, well, I think I know where this is going one way or the other. But I think both of them, based on what Targaryens are described as and look like and everything, this first version of them knocked it out of the park. Wait, are we gonna lose this Daemon too?
No,
he'll probably stay the same. Okay,
yeah,
that would
he's around for the show. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
because he's famous too, right? Like Matt Smith wouldn't sign on for like 4
Yeah,
episodes.
he is pretty famous. I think we're only losing Rhaenyra, Alicent, maybe Laenor, the son of the sea snake, and maybe Laena, the daughter of the sea snake. I think they're all aging up. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
By the way, that was my first idea for my costume for this. We can't do baby faces, but I want to do a baby filter and just be Laena the whole time.
There's some twisted shit too. Like even the Game of Thrones books where Daenerys is like 12 years old when all this shit is going down and she's getting like sold to Khal Drogo. And it's like they had to make her older in the show because you just can't have the scenes that we saw her going through. Right?
You're right. Actually, those first scenes with Dany and Drogo were fucking really tough. And
like,
then
basically like a bunch of rape scenes we saw.
Yeah, and then she takes the reins and she's like, all female power and shit. But in the beginning, it was like, whoa.
Yeah. Alicent suggests that Daemon admitted to having sex with Rhaenyra just to corrupt her and sort of weaken Viserys. And as soon as she said that, I was like, all right, she's onto something, because I hadn't really put that together in my mind up to that point. And Rhaenyra is brought before the king, finally. She has to face her father, and he shows her this dagger that we've seen before. It says on it, "From my blood come the prince that was promised. His will be the song of ice and fire." This is the dagger that was made an attempt on Bran's life. It's the one that killed the Night King, people were telling me on Twitter. It was used throughout Game of Thrones. Really cool to see it used in that way. And the king tells her, you're going to marry Laenor Valerian without protest. At this point, like, you fucked up. I could take your heirship away, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make you marry Laenor. And she points out Otto Hightower is only out for himself. So why don't you do your job and then I'll do mine? She's like, I'll do it. You do your fucking job.
Yeah. I mean, like, open your fucking eyes, dude. Like to need, like, Otto is not even, out of all the like puppet masters and all that shit, like I think he's like the worst one who somehow has been getting away with it. All the other ones are like super sneaky and you're like, oh shit, he really hid that well. I think Otto fucking stinks, and the fact that the king is just getting wise to him, I think, shows how much Viserys sucks. I can't stand that dude. I want him to just die.
He showed some balls, though, in the final scene. He calls a meeting with Otto. He brings Otto in, and he realizes, like, everything has been calculated to get his bloodline on the throne. And he says, your judgment has been compromised. And I'm like, take that fucking pin off of him. Take that pin off of him. And he snatches that pin off of him, fires him. And I'm like, finally, fucking King Viserys grew a little bit of balls, and he's probably going to die in the next episode.
Can you imagine not realizing that he's calculated the first time a child knocks on your bedroom door? Like,
come on, dude. Like, he's been, like, you.
And your wife is talking like him. Like, every suggestion she makes, you're like, you know what? That's fucked up. Otto said the same thing before.
Yo, we need like a DJ Khaled House of Dragons. Congratulations, you played yourself crossover. Otto just a bridge too far, man. Like, God, he fucking realized it.
And then in basically the final scene of the episode, Meister comes and delivers Plan BT to Rhaenyra. Crazy. Plan B.
Yeah, I mean, that was another one. She's like, what is this tea? And he's like, for any of the consequences of your actions. Oh, shit.
The consequences have to be pretty dire, too, when it's like, if it's brewed improperly, it might not work, or you might die.
I was thinking poison first. I didn't know what it was going to be.
I was thinking sus stuff right away because the Meister, we thought, were they involved in the death of the baby and the death of the
Yeah,
wife
that's
somehow?
Yeah, so that can't be good. Whatever that's going to do to your body, that's probably not an enjoyable thing to go through in medieval times, I don't think.
Then if your mom died in childbirth too, you might just say, fuck it. We'll deal with that. The doctor medicine instead of whatever it's coming out through my vagina.
And there was a good speech in
Through my vagina.
I did want to mention, because the chat brought up, there is a good speech in that Viserys Otto scene at the end of the episode where he talks about how Otto ascended to power in 5 days. He's like, it took 5 days for you.
That was awesome.
5 days. Just kept saying that. That was really, really good. Like Viserys, he's a bitch. I'm not gonna,
he's just
go
stupid.
any way around it. He's a stupid bitch. But it was a very well acted scene.
Do you guys think we'll get a Hand of the King in the next? I guess it'll probably be another time jump, but I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the next Hand of the King, and that person is on the top of the sus list too.
I have a theory.
Who's yours?
I think it's going to be the guy from the last episode that almost looks like Samwell Tarly and suggested that not his son should be on the throne, but he was like, no, I'm not out for myself. Like, you should, marry her to so and so. And the king kind of took like a note of like, he wasn't out for himself. I think he's the next hand.
Harwin Strong, I think was his name, right? Let me look at it.
Yeah, he was like the leader of the laws of the High Council.
Yep, Master of the Laws. Yep, that was his name. Also, the guy who delivered the Plan B, by the way, real creepy dude. I wouldn't trust that guy if he delivered my fucking food, let alone if he delivered Plan B, to fucking kill my uterus.
Although,
kill my uterus.
I feel like the guys who dilly-dally, the guys who dabble in that world are not exactly the hot guys, You want a guy to make you an abortion soup? Guess what? He's not going to be a looker, okay? He's going to be a creepy fucking old dude, all right?
They were going to draw straws. They're like, just send the pervert.
Any closing thoughts on the overall episode? We have some other topics we could talk about, but as far as episode 4 goes.
I thought slowest of the year, obviously.
Yep.
It was, it was a bit of a slower burn. I didn't think it dragged, though. Did you feel like it was dragging?
Not bad, but I actually do that because I think they've all been great. So this one I would put at the bottom, but I don't think it was bad. It just wasn't.
I don't know though. At the same time, I thought that the Daemon and Rhaenyra love story or just crush storyline was gonna kind of be dragged out, and they just kind of 0 to 100 on that one.
It was still a half hour of grooming.
Yeah,
and it was also a lot of sex. The actual 2 sex scenes in the episode were long, super long.
Let me tell you this: if we were 16 years old and doing this would be the best episode of the season. I would love this episode.
We would be doing it through crusty cameras. We'd have to scrape them off.
Guys, will be on in 5 minutes. Start the work. I got to shout out Tommy Madden too. He did have the tweet of the week when he said that I can't believe Viserys outlasted Queen Elizabeth, which I thought Viserys was cooked in episode 2, and he somehow was here halfway through the season.
As you bring her up, I saw an article, and this happened a little while ago, so I might be late to the party. But if anybody else didn't see this, when Queen Elizabeth visited Comic-Con or something, where there was a Iron Throne, she was not allowed to sit on it and take a picture because as queen, you're not allowed to sit on foreign thrones.
Really?
Yo, bitch, it's a TV show. You can fucking take the picture. But she was a gangster. She's like, I only sit on one throne. It's fucking mine, bro.
I do want to point out, not that it matters much to the story, but she did not go to Comic-Con, Kevin. She visited the set of Game of Thrones. The queen didn't go to Comic-Con. Come on.
The cool queen.
I didn't know
she's on the floor of Comic-Con with her walker and shit, walking in a stormtrooper mask so people don't know who it is.
Bryan Cranston's in a Walter White costume. The queen's just out there. She'd probably be more successful like that. Bryan Cranston would get more recognized than the queen at Comic-Con. That's a fact.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
fair point.
You're probably all right. I thought that was unbelievable though. I can't sit on foreign thrones. That's unbelievable, man.
And another thing I wanted to bring up, I believe Clem blogged it this week. Season 1 of House of the Dragon takes place over 28 years. Now that includes the flashback at the beginning when we saw King Viserys like become king, and then they flash forward right away or whatever. Craziness though. It's like I think it was like the first scene of the entire show.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't really want to be king, but he kind of got thrust into that position.
Right.
28 years is a long time for one season. If you said the whole show took place over 28 years, I would get it. One season, that's a lot. I also read the show starts
now, right? No.
The show starts 500 pages into the book.
Dude, everything I've ever read about him, because I've never picked up one of the books because that would be fucking insane. Like everything I've read is that he has like pages and pages of describing like every blade of grass and every cloud in the sky. And it's like, shut up, you furry fuck. Let's get to the point. So I guess that does not surprise me. 28 years, unless it's just kind of like cheap math where, yeah, it adds up to 28 years, but we actually only talk about these. Like, if it is actually going to span that many years, there's just not that much you can get into. You're going to be jumping over things that I think I'm going to be interested to want to see. You know what I mean?
Some people in the chat are saying they're doing. We got Talking Thrones. Our guy in the chat says, "Oh, Bob, trust me, they're doing it for a reason." And then Go Pack Go says it's been 9 years from the first scene to where we enter, and then 6 since then. So we might be 15 years in right now.
See, then fine. Then we're okay.
Then they're doing well because I said 10 just now and thought I was crazy for saying 10.
I agree. Like if that is the case, then fine. My previous point is wrong, but I also think that it has not felt like 10 years. The only thing they're doing is dropping.
Or I guess it's been 6, since the real shows started. And then the 9 are the ones that,
all they do is just kind of drop like references to how old somebody is, or you see that
if Aegon didn't exist, I would think it was a week.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And so like in that case, you can span 128 years if you're just going to kind of be like, okay, let's just fast forward. But all they're really doing is being like, this baby is now a couple years older, or he lost a couple limbs, or, whatever, where it's like, yeah, he's older now. But yeah, it doesn't feel like that many years. So I guess in that case, it doesn't really matter, right?
Next week, Viserys is going to have an iPhone and they're not going to talk about it.
With all the history and stuff like that, and kind of, I'm in the trust tree, right? I'm in the trust tree right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm skipping the intro.
Maybe. We'll see.
You're skipping the intro?
The blood, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I got to learn. Like, back when Thrones was going on, I kind of knew, even in the beginning, I was like, oh, Winterfell. There's the little tree I like coming up. Oh, there's the wall. I hate that fucking place. And I kind of knew this is just blood, and I don't know all the little stories that all the little, like, things
But you didn't know that in the beginning, did you?
No, I didn't, but it was easier to kind of digest. This is just too much for me right
now. Listen, the only intro you need to be watching is Nick Hamilton.
Yes, that's true.
Schools. Shout out to Noonan, Georgia. It's only 45 minutes away from the airport.
Up and coming neighborhood. But also, what I was just going to say is that if we are in the trust tree, which I think we all have agreed upon except me, I have not seen the intro yet. I skip it every time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Today was a special case, but I don't know if I paid attention to the intro for a second.
It's it's just like a JV version of last time.
It's also just like when I started watching Thrones, Skip didn't exist. Now it does.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I like it. It puts me in the mood. It's like the opening ceremony of the Olympics every week. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for this.
I can get down with that explanation.
I hovered over the skip button this week if we're in the trust tree. I hovered over it, but I said no.
Oh,
did you guys notice? Did you notice the Sour Patch Kids that were strung up on John's his sigil? That was great.
What I couldn't decide, Nick, what's on the tree? Oh, is that just the tree from the show?
That's the tree from the show.
But it's Sad Boy
tree from the show with your face on it.
I was like, how does this have to do with me?
With John's face.
That's John's actual face.
Wait, that's actually my face?
Wizard. You're
I have a
wizard.
3D photo scan of your face.
Of course you do.
Get that tattooed, John, you got to get that sigil tattooed on you now. You got to get that whole picture tattooed right on your face. How about that?
That's fucking insane.
If my mom's basement hits 50,000 subs, you got to get the tattoo. My channel hits it, you got to get it.
Starting next week, Game of Stools is just Nick talking about the intro. That's just because it's more impressive than anything we talk about.
It probably takes them, as much time to that it takes to put together an episode of Game of Thrones. So he deserves
By the end
it.
of the season, our intro is going to have like that full storyline that the Game of Thrones intro
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Where people are finding Easter eggs and they're like, I think this is alluding to something in the next season of Game of Stools.
The new thing is going to be, forget about is House of the Dragon better than Lord of the Rings? Is Nick's intro better than Lord of the Rings? Is going to be the next like.
The answer is already yes.
Well, Nick's intros might be getting more views than Lord of the Rings. Even though Lord of the Rings is getting like millions and
Yeah, like
millions,
25
of
mil, yeah.
yeah, whatever, dude. All the numbers are so like fugazi. It's like these numbers were just cable TV, the first watch. These numbers are with streaming. These numbers are streaming plus 7 days. It goes from like 1.8 million viewers last night to like 19 million viewers like overnight. I get it that there's all these different measurements and you got to wait a little bit of time and they want to compare right away. But it's also like just pause for like 24 or 72 hours or whatever it is and then tell me, because everything else gets very confusing.
I had people angry about my take last week saying there's no way it did better, telling me the numbers are out there. You could just check the numbers. The numbers are from the people putting them out. So like we could say the numbers for the podcast feed last week, we had 25 million people listen to Game of Stools. I know it's surprising, but we did. I know there's only 24,000 on YouTube, but we had 25 million on the podcast feed, guys.
Dude, my thing with the numbers is I actually had someone knock on my door and offer to give me a Nielsen box. And they were like, just so you know, we fixed everything. Now it includes streaming. Now it includes everything. And I was like, I'm so hungover right now. And Hulu at the time, I don't know if they do now, it didn't offer the keep watching button. So for 24 hours, Always Sunny had been playing on my TV. 24 hours straight. And she was like, you'll represent 15,000 people in Manhattan. I was like, well, then 15,000 people today watch 24 hours of Always Sunny.
Good work by you, man. That's like solid work for the cause right there.
Yeah, I would definitely take the Nielsen box and just make sure, like, every time I leave the house, my favorite show's on.
Yeah. I mean,
like we can fight, make sure that things don't get canceled. If we all band together and just like put your favorite show on for 24 hours a day, we'll keep this shit from getting canceled. Wait, so you are a Nielsen person?
No, I'm not. They also, you get paid too.
How much?
And I can't imagine anything, but I just didn't. I don't have anywhere to put like a box. I stream stuff. So
You got somewhere to put a box. How big is the box?
How big's the check, Rob?
I have a question for you, Johnny, just because I saw it was news this week. They said Netflix might be going away from the binge model and start doing it the weekly releases, kind of like Thrones. Are you for or against that as a Netflix guy?
Oh,
I've been pro weekly for a long time.
We couldn't do this.
Yes, exactly.
When House of Cards first came out, we were like, oh, this is sick. And then you realize how much you miss talking about it with your friends. And like, this is easy to make sure we're all on the same episode rather than being like, what are you watching tonight? Oh, we're on 3. Oh, I'm on 7.
I think there's a healthy blend that we can agree on. I think some shows should just be put out. I think sometimes comedies and things like that, you know, there's not much to like debate week to week and theorize and shit. You can release those. I like when certain shows do like week 1, you get 3 episodes and then we go week to week after that. So you get a little bit of a binge to start. I think that's done for like not for the binge, but for like it usually takes 3 episodes to get into a show.
Sometimes,
yeah. There are some shows that do just 3 a week every time, and it goes rather quickly. What they should do, I think, will be perfect, and it's a lot to ask of the show creators. I think do 3 a week and 15 episodes, and that way you get like 5 weeks. You get like over a month of this sort of shit, but like a chunk every single time. I guess if it's a 1-hour show, 3 is a lot. But I just think some sort of hybrid is the best way to go.
I kind of agree with that. I love the 3 at the start and then the weekly because that's like we can really get into it at the beginning. But I love the talk about shows like this, like The Boys, like big shows that people like to speculate about. I love the week-to-week speculation, predictions, tweet threads, memes. Like John said, you're all in the same episode. And the conversation just lasts longer. We talked about it with Stranger Things. Like they at least split it up into 2 parts this year. Previous seasons, Stranger Things had been talked about for the weekend it came out, and then we all kind of forgot about it.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean just if you're a creator, a writer, an actor, whatever, you want to keep your show in the zeitgeist for like all of the fall or all of the summer or whatever.
It's
And then
just free advertising every episode.
make a T-shirt,
Think about it.
cosplay, and
Speaking of t-shirts,
you fuck
we got
your
great
cousin
t-shirts.
or whatever. No, I mean you get the Dracarys T-shirts. We got that one. We got the Thrasher one. We got them on sale right now. We got to be very careful about what we can put out there, but I think there's a couple other. Do you think that added to the chair would work with a sword?
Ooh.
I don't know if people would.
I don't know if it's too niche. A quote.
You gotta
like,
be
will
a
people remember
hardcore
that
nerd.
one? Yeah.
But to me, that line, like if
I
you're
even like the epic music playing. That's a good, that's a good
we
subtle
got
one.
we got epic music playing, and we've got Dragon roaring for the team subtitles sweatshirts. Go get them. If you're a Demon Targaryen fan, add it to the chair with like a hand and a sword falling is fucking
almost.
Not a sword,
What
it's
if
like
we
a
did it?
hammer.
What if we did it almost like the Run the Jewels logo, but it's like a hand dropping a sword?
Yeah, they're right. That might have to be getting made. I don't know if HBO will allow it, but fuck you, because we're the #1 after show, not you, HBO. Fucking suck my dick, man. Everybody make sure that you subscribe to My Mom's Basement and subscribe to the audio for Game of Stools so that you can watch it when it comes out, and then you can listen to it in the days after on Apple and on Spotify, and rate and review. We'll do another merch giveaway. We'll do John, last time we did name your give us the best.
Well, I think
dragon
we still have a merch giveaway going for the House Sigil.
Okay, what are they
in the reviews? If Nick wants
Private?
to join, he could help. Yeah, do like a House Sigil for us and like a House logo or something.
Okay, so like you describe, explain it, write it
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
what it could look like.
I was saying that you could do like, what would our sigil be? So like, you could get creative with it. Make if you want to be like the Clemgarians and whatnot, choose like everyone individually, and then if you want to choose words, I think that house words are always really good.
Okay,
They
so
play off of.
anything you can kind of create in the Game of Thrones realm, put it in the reviews and leave 5 stars, and make sure that we keep Game of Stools up there at the top of the charts for after shows, because it's the best in all the realm.
Absolutely. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week as well, live right after House of the Dragon concludes in the My Mom's Basement YouTube page. And like Kevin said, the Game of Stools podcast feed is a monster. 25 million views last week. We're trying to get above HBO. Special thanks to Glennie Balls, executive producer of the show.
Yes.
Yep.
Appreciate that. And we will talk to you guys next week.